Gavin wrote in and asked whether it's possible to do your learning conversations and learn all about someone and then switch into sales mode during the same meeting. Yes and no. Like, yeah, you can totally get away with it. It's fine. So if I'm talking to you and I'm like, let's say you're a teacher and I'm understanding your challenges, doing whatever, coming up with great new exercises to run with your class. And I'm talking to you, I just talk to you casually. I'm like, hey, how do you do this? How do you come up with homework? What's your lesson plans like? Where do you get them? Do you use websites? And I learn all about what you're doing. And I'm also working on an app to help you do this better. I want to sell it to teachers. I want to sell it to school boards. I can then do a transition. So after I've learned about you, I can say something like, hey, I don't know if this is relevant, but I'm working on an app to help teachers come up with lesson plans. Would you be interested in hearing more about it? Or is that something that might be relevant to you? Or if you've got 5 more minutes, I can show it to you. You can kind of ask for permission and transition the meetings. And if you see that they're a bit uncomfortable, just an emotional signal, don't force them. You're not going to get the sale if you force it. And they've already been super helpful by answering your questions. But they'll either go, yeah, that'll be amazing. I'd love to see it. Or they'll go, in those cases, go, don't worry about it. Another time, maybe. And then you can, with permission, you can totally transition. The times I don't do it is sometimes to get into a difficult meeting. I'll, in my initial request for the meeting, I'll say something like, hey, I'm Rob. We're trying to improve the way teachers design lesson plans. We don't have a product yet. I don't have anything to sell you, but it would help me out so much if you would tell me a bit about how you deal with your class and design your lesson plans at the moment. It'll only take 10 minutes. I got nothing to sell you. And that can sometimes get you into meetings that were difficult or conversations that were difficult to get into otherwise, because people are kind of like, they don't want to just be on the receiving end of a sales pitch, right? And if I do that, I never transition it because I've sort of promised them I wouldn't. So yeah, you can totally do it. I would encourage you to keep it separate. Sometimes you'll get pressure from people. If they're real busy, you'll sit down and you'll be like, hey, so how do you design your lesson plans? They'll go, look, I'm really busy. I've only got 10 minutes. Do you have something to show me or not? In those cases, you're not going to learn very much. So like, just give them the pitch. In other cases, you can stall it a bit and you can be like, yeah, absolutely. I'd love to show you. Is it okay before I do? I don't want to bias you too much with what we're building. Would you mind telling me how you currently deal with it? So some questions like that, you can get pretty good data even when you're blending the meetings. Just keep like the phases separate in your mind. If you open with your pitch, then you've totally ruined it because people are so focused on what you're presenting. So just do your learning conversations first, then transition, do it respectfully, and be willing to walk away if they don't seem like they're into it.